welcome to Scatman. Do you know what that is? That's the remnants of Extra Life 2015 where I couldn't use my voice properly and it still hasn't gotten back. I've slept for 24 hours. Hello, welcome to the lobby. GameSpot's weekly hangout every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific right here on GameSpot.com. I'm Danny O'Dwyer. Hi, how you doing? You doing good? We've got video games to talk about. Aaron Sampson's here. Ashley Esqueda's here from CNET.com. How you doing?
I'm great.
Welcome.
I'm excited.
You're in town today?
In town, yeah, I am in town for a little bit, and then I'm doing some stuff, video stuff with you guys, and then I get to go back to LA for more Tomorrow Daily.
Has the El Nino happened in LA yet?
No. There's maybe like one storm.
Okay.
I say put up or shut up, El Nino.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, either get to it or get out.
You got flood insurance?
Nope.
Nope. How about you,
I'm like,
Aaron?
what's water? I don't understand.
I mean, you live in the part of the Bay Area where the apes are eventually going to take over, right?
Yeah, I mean, so that happened, Planet of the Apes.
I saw that
I'm waiting for
documentary.
that. Thanks for that reminder, yeah. Just I'm not afraid of apes, murdering my whole family.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Marin, baby.
Thanks for that.
Monkey Town. Ape Town. Who cares? Anyway, we're here to talk about Fallout 4. As it happens, I spent a couple of hours last night. I needed some time away from the wasteland, so I went back to Sanctuary and I started just doing up my house. I made a locker for my clothes and for my weapons, and the bobblehead holder, which has only got 2 bobbleheads in it out of 30 holders, and it was nice and relaxing. And both of you guys have also been putting a lot of time into doing up your bases as well.
Yeah, I've renamed the game Fallout 4 Happy Home Designer.
Okay.
I have this problem where I ruin open world games, and so this time, as opposed to the other open world games that I've found ways to get distracted in, I got really into settlement building, and I'm still early in the game because I didn't get mine early. I got my Pip-Boy edition on Friday.
Oh, cool.
So I only had a couple days to play before I flew up here. But yeah, I finished the first part of the original main storyline quest where you meet Preston and
kill your Deathclaw.
Yeah, kill your Deathclaw. Gotta get your Deathclaw, and then you get back up to Sanctuary, and then I started transferring everything because I'd kind of planted everything at Rocket as opposed to Sanctuary. So I was like, oh, now I gotta drag everything over.
You gotta pick your home.
Listen, dog meat. You're going to be carrying a lot of stuff. So I loaded up dog meat and I came back up to Sanctuary, and then I got to work. And now everyone's got a nice bed. I've taken down a bunch of houses and stuff. But honestly, it's a really interesting. I find the settlement building really interesting in Fallout.
Yeah, when we first got our hands on it a couple of weeks ago, you decided to put together a sort of a base building guide, and for a while there, we were kind of just trying to figure out what is this for exactly.
It took a while. I think I started getting a grasp of what the base building's higher purpose is. It took about a week and a half of actually base building and digging through the guide. And to be honest, it's one of those features where it's a lot of fun and you can level up and waste a ton of time, but it's totally optional. It mostly has to do with the high-level crafting in the game and having places to put your cool crafting stations so you can, build a garden and then have a spit and roast up some stuff to make guns, the adhesives, or use a chemistry station to make oil. So it seems like at the higher level, the bases are for fun, and then they're for high-level crafting.
Yeah.
Also healing your rads. I mean, that was the big thing that I find myself going back for, making sure I have purified water.
Of course, yeah.
Get back there, being able to, instead of using Radaway, which is a little bit rare. To me, so far, it's been a little bit rarer than in previous Fallout games. So I really like that, you can just go back and heal up and kind of take a break.
I think the cooking stuff, which Obsidian added in New Vegas and has definitely been explored a lot in this, is really good as well, because when you're adding making steaks out of death claws and mole rats and everything, they heal you almost as much as stims. You can really, as long as you're not playing survival mode, you can really pound on those and they get your health up.
And if you cook it, you don't take the radiation hit, which is really nice.
Yeah, which is a massive, iguana on a stick. Before you'd take it, but it was it's limiting. Well, in this one, it limits your maximum health.
Right.
There's some weapons later in the game, like the syringer, where you have to craft all the ammo for it.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah,
I just got that. It's pretty crazy.
It's funny too, when you build a nice base, you should probably start every day in the wasteland by taking a nice nap. If you take an 8-hour nap, particularly if you have a romantic partner there, you get an XP boost. It's 10% for the first.
Oh wow.
I don't know how long it is when you go out in the wasteland.
I want to say it's an hour.
Yeah.
45 minutes, hour, something like that.
The thing I've been doing as well is, I don't know, like in previous games, the worlds of, the Capital Wasteland and New Vegas and stuff are always so like scary and intimidating and awful. And after a mission, you kind of go back to somebody and sell all the stuff you don't need, and you feel a little bit more like safe when you're in a like a hub town.
Yeah.
Whereas what I'm doing in this now is I'm finding sanctuary in sanctuary. Like I'm going out into the world and I'm collecting more stuff that I usually just sell and just kind of bringing it home and like storing it. So like
I did that in Fallout 3. That's how I ruined Fallout 3. So I got to the very first like area of homes before you even get to Megaton. I found the first lady you meet where she's like real twitchy and jumpy, and I was just like, well, I don't like this lady, so I killed her, and then I took over her house. And then I ended up I was like, well, I'm going to clean up the apocalypse. And so I just took when I got to the supermart, that was a real problem.
No.
That was a real problem for me.
Like
it took
your
me
OCD
like 4 days to clean out. Yeah,
problem.
it was, it's so much like that where all I wanted to do was just like pick up every bit of garbage. And now it's even better because now I can scavenge and break down stuff for crafting. So it's like, this ruined house. Well, I'm going to scrap this.
XA.
Oh man, I love scrapping. It's great.
And then, fill your room with cat posters so you feel good.
I know.
At the end
Yeah,
of the day.
exactly.
I know those mounted heads I've now got in the sitting room. And then yesterday I was putting up some lighting because I've gone back to my house, like the house my character
Your
had before.
OG house, yeah.
And I put up a lights, and I leveled up to 20 because I like put up a rotating fan, and I've been doing so much of that stuff over the like previous hours.
What were we saying if you combine it with Idiot Savant, the like early perk where
great.
The less intelligent you are, the more likely you are to have a huge boost.
Yeah.
And you start building, you can get it to trigger fairly frequently.
Yeah, like crafting, anything you do, like just random XP just happens. It's pretty great. So, but you have to you have to have a little more low intelligence, which I think for me, like I preferred a little bit more. So I kind of want to start a second save game.
Yeah.
Like I want to play very differently twice. So, but of course, I'll be dead before that happens. Before I finish 2 games of Fallout 4.
Apparently there's, because I yesterday spent like a good 20 minutes I haven't drunk any Nuka-Cola, because I remember in the previous game it was like, remember Nirnroot in Oblivion and Skyrim was that stuff that you collected, and there's always a quest about like collect 10 of this and sell it to this vendor for like loads of money. There was one in, I think, Fallout 3, or maybe it was that and New Vegas about Nuka-Cola Quantum, and there was another person where like giving them Nuka-Cola was always beneficial. So I've like been trained never to drink it.
Save them.
So I put them all in my fridge, but like to do so meant like picking them up in the game and then trying to get them in. But apparently if you're in builder mode, they straight up just stand.
Oh, cool.
Like they stand up on their own.
Yeah.
So that's a pro tip.
I found out that you can actually, like, I went around and this again, like, guys, I have a real open world gaming problem. I spent like 3 hours on a Sunday night just walking around fixing fences in Sanctuary. I was like, oh man, these fences, I gotta fix. I don't like looking at them. There's some of the fences are down, some of them are up. But if you're in builder mode, they all snap together really nicely.
Perfect. Doors snap in real good.
Everything
as well.
snaps in really great, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, don't want no broken window theory in Sanctuary.
As long as you start with the foundation block. That's the one trick, is like you cannot build on hills very well unless you put in the foundation concrete blocks, and they will level your base out.
Tell me a little bit about the advanced defense stuff, because I know you've dipped into that, Aaron.
So defenses are kind of funny. I put a lot of defenses up initially, and then my base never got attacked, and I couldn't figure out what was happening. So it says that if you read through the guide, it says that the higher your defense rating, the less likely you are to be attacked.
Right.
So you may never be attacked if your defense rating is really high.
Interesting.
And also, I haven't seen people wander into the confines of the bases, so I think they'll only start attacking small settlements or settlements that you've built to the outskirts of.
Right.
And they'll aggro on things they
The
can
edges
see.
of
On the
town.
edge,
Yeah.
right.
Things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my impression of that was you just put up a couple defenses. As long as your rating is as high as your population or higher, it's not likely it'll ever happen.
Did you put in some of that crazy stuff with the terminals and the lasers?
Yeah, so at high level, there's some fun stuff. You got to get a couple of the perks going. But so in order to do an advanced trap, you have to build a laser tripwire. You hook that up to like a flamethrower, and then all that has to be hooked up to power and a terminal.
Okay.
And you tell the terminal, don't kill people I love. Or like, people will just walk through the front
Trash
door.
can Carlo walks through.
Yeah.
You got to make sure the flames don't get turned on.
But
don't
again,
shoot
like,
at her.
nobody's attacked my base really, so I don't.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Like you kind of, because people really build up those defenses, they're hoping people come attack them,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the thing you want. You're like, oh man, I want to see all these crazy Home Alone traps go off when the raiders come. And then like they just never show up. That's a bummer.
Maybe like that, yeah. Just do it Home Alone style, like build a really weak base,
Yeah.
with like one person and a Brahmin, and then like
And then
set
just
it up with
load
traps.
it up with defense. Just to see what happens. That seems like it would be really fun.
Just come back and collect the corpses.
I'll say maybe you could pull a Walking Dead and like kite a bunch of raiders all the way to a base. Like could you
Perfect.
do maybe if you kite stuff, maybe you could test it out.
Lastly, guys, obviously you've put so much time into your various bases. What is the favorite thing you've got in your base right now? What is your pride and joy in your base? Aaron Sampson, what's yours?
My pride and joy. It was just building high. Like I'm still going. I got to about 4 stories, and I thought that was the limit. But then I was reading through the guide, and I saw a lighthouse with like I was
right.
like somebody they had like a 6 or 7 or 8 story structure. So my goal right now is just to build a medieval tower as high as possible.
Nice.
I haven't done it yet, but it's gonna happen.
It's a good squad goal.
Again,
I
put
like
it-
it.
That's
It's
good.
really nice.
Genie, is that what you built?
Yeah.
Look at this.
There's
That
there's
is
no
impressive.
physics. Like it won't fall over if it's not properly buttressed or something.
Yeah.
So.
Who needs physics? It's ridiculous.
What about yourself, Ashley?
For me, it's early, so I feel like I'm gonna have new favorites because I'm early in. But I think for right now, is it really dumb if I say like I'm really impressed with my fence rebuilding skills?
No, that's all right.
I actually I really like having nice, organized stuff. So it's been great to actually reorganize all of the different yards, and like I said,
Picket
everyone watching this is probably like, this broad needs a straitjacket. Like find her one in the wasteland. But yeah, I really like, and also I'm really proud of the fact that really, really early I was able to build out the. What is it? The signal that brings in
Signal
people.
boost.
Signal
So
beacons,
signal beacons where people can come in and stuff. And I think my favorite thing of just settlement building actually is the really nice quest line that I've been doing with Preston. So going out to the other settlements has been really good.
It's enjoyable. That's good. Well, I'm happy with my little trunk full of Grognak the Barbarian, all my magazines and stuff just hid nice there. I'm waiting for someone to steal it.
In your fridge of Nuka-Cola.
I'm a frigid Nuka-Cola, but I have to organize.
Did you write your name on it, by the way? Because those
what?
settlers.
You can write your name on stuff?
No, I mean, like, I'm just saying those settlers might see a
Put a
tasty
defense
fridge
yeah.
of
system up.
They keep
Nuka-Cola.
walking in.
Yeah.
I keep going into the house and there's like Trash Can Carla or someone's just sitting down there. I'm like, get the fuck out.
Supposedly they can pick
out.
stuff up if you just leave
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah, they
Supposedly
can take stuff.
They can pick
Yeah.
it up.
So
Right?
be careful.
All right, I
be
gotta
really
load
careful.
that game up again.
Craft
in a
and
second.
post it, man.
Yeah, put
Ashley,
up a defense system, flamethrowers.
Yes, exactly.
And then tell it to
Not
shoot
to friendlies.
anybody. Yeah,
Especially
anybody.
anyone touching my Nuka-Cola. Aaron, Ashley, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks.
Let us know what you think of the base building of Fallout 4. Have you built any cool little base yourself? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'll be back in a second, folks. We've got a bunch more chat. We've got Xenoblade Chronicles of Peter Brown. Man, you guys got to explain to me what the hell this game is all about. You've been playing it for a whole week. We'll get Mike and Rob on to talk about Battlefront pretty soon after that. But first of all, here's a trailer for The Crew Wild Run.
What brings me out here? It's the adrenaline rush. I'll race anyone and everyone. Because nothing beats the feeling of crossing the line first. All roads lead to more adventures. This world is just waiting to be seen. I'm joining a family. Together we're unstoppable. Everywhere is my playground, and I get to use all my rides. What brings you out here?
Xenoblade Chronicles X. Let's all do it.
It actually
pronounced cross?
Cross.
Cross.
I misled
Still
you.
works.
I
Sorry,
said X.
cross. The power of Christ compels you to play this video game, which came out in Europe back in April?
No, Japan, my
Japan.
friend.
Japan, back in
Yeah.
April. And it's coming out end of this month or December?
December 3rd,
Awesome. When's our review going to be up?
November 30th.
Awesome. But you guys have been playing the game for a little while. We're going to ask you, without getting into the sort of critical assessment area, all about this game. So for those who don't know Xenoblade Chronicles as a series, I guess, what is Cross exactly?
So Xenoblade Chronicles X Cross, however you want to pronounce it, is like kind of a pseudo follow-up to the Wii title, Xenoblade Chronicles. They share some similarities in terms of mechanics, but in terms of the world, everything like that, very different games. And it takes place in a very big world, this new one. People liken it to bigger than The Witcher, Skyrim, and Fallout combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a truly open world, like it's one of these things where if you look somewhere, you can go see, you can go there,
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much. If
Yeah.
you can figure out a way to jump all the way up onto something, then you can pretty much climb anything.
Yeah.
Or swim.
Big. Or swim.
Or
you
swim.
can swim too.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's huge. It's really big.
Tell us about the world. It's not Earth. Earth's been blown up.
Dude, Earth
crash
is
landed.
messed up, man. Yeah, sorry, my voice is a little weird in case people are wondering why. Anyway, so the spaceship left Earth and then got in the middle of an alien conflict, crash landed on this planet, and you're sort of there scouting the planet to figure out how to make a life for everyone who is part of New Los Angeles, which is a section of the massive spaceship that crashed.
Man, we just destroyed old Los Angeles. Why would you make a new one?
Yeah.
Of all the cities.
Yeah, what did you
Yeah. No, I just laughed at that because I think New Los Angeles is not.
say? Yeah.
It's a silly name. But yeah, this is the map, and all those little towers are like you go and you put down a probe, which means you've effectively colonized or surveyed that area.
Okay.
So what you're doing is you're colonizing this world, and you're collecting samples, picking up remnants. The whole big thing is like you are part of a group of people that are trying to find the rest of the people. Like everyone else is in like cryostasis or something.
Yeah, the ship exploded, right? So it's like
Yeah.
all over the planet. or-
There's some people that are in cryostasis.
So you have to go
Yeah.
find them and.
That's definitely part of it. The one cool thing this game does, though, right? Like you explore as part of the story, like for quests. But as you lay down those probes, as Alexa was describing, those actually play a bigger picture in terms of like loot and stuff like that. So you can set these probes to do different things. One of the things they can do is mine. As you mine and collect this resource, I believe it's called Muranium.
Muranium.
Yeah. What you then do is you can use that to invest in different weapons and armor manufacturers and get access to new loot. So the more you explore, the more ability you have to unlock new gear, not just by finding it, which you do, but also by investing in companies who develop new stuff. What they're showing right now on the screen are the mechs.
God damn it.
In the Japanese version, they were called dolls. Now they're called skells.
Because
Whatever. And
I'll
these-
still play with dolls.
Right, and these are a really big part of the game, but they don't. I'm about 25 hours in, and
Okay.
I think I'm close to the point where maybe I'm going to unlock them.
Right. So this is a game which is pushing the like 70, 80 hour mark.
Yeah, it's a very big game, and I kind of liken it to an MMO. It doesn't play like an MMO, but what it does do is offer a huge amount of quests, and sometimes these are easy to find. Excuse me. Other times, like Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, you have to find people in a specific part of town at a specific time of day and have talked to someone else in the world. Like,
very specific. All right.
huge
let's
quest
let's
lines.
give you respite for a second and ask
Unbelievable.
Alexa, tell me about the quest. So there's like main quest stuff. There's affinity quests, which are about getting sort of extra people on your team, or
yeah, there's just so much crap to deal with in this game, and I both love it and hate it. There's you pick a job. There's like I think like 7, 10
something like that.
different job classes, and they have different things like, okay, you're going to focus on colonizing new areas, you're going to focus on finding people that are in cryostasis, or you're going to focus on killing big animals.
Yeah.
And you join that group, and then you have a separate level of whatever you're doing in that group, and then you have your personal level, and then you have your affinity levels, and then you have your field levels.
Don't forget your blade levels.
Oh, yeah, your blade level, your whatever job you have, and then you have your field level, and there's your archaeological skills, your mechanical skills, and your something biological skills, and all of these level up separately but together. And sometimes you can't do something if a certain level isn't high enough because you need to get another level high enough, but you can't level up that
There's a
until
lot of
something else is leveled up.
person management, character management, quest management.
I'd say quest management, world management. If you play it intelligently, when you figure out how everything ties together, it actually works pretty smoothly across the board. Like, you understand how one thing affects another, and so on. It's a little bit difficult to understand at first. Read the manual. That is my advice to you.
No.
Do games come with manuals anymore? What?
We don't have the retail, like, physical version of this game. We have the disc, but the in-game manual is where you find it, and it's very helpful, actually.
Or you could play it dumbly like me. I refuse to read the manual. I'm trying to figure it all out on my own. And it is so much to take in. I mean, I like really thick, meaty JRPGs, but this is a JRPG-ass JRPG. It's crazy, but it looks good.
Tell us a little bit about the world. The idea of an open sort of planet where you can travel anywhere seems very appealing to me. Tell me about the world and its inhabitants and its monsters and stuff like that.
So the world, again, is huge, and it is pretty much wilderness. You will maybe encounter some, organic. I don't want to spoil anything. Anyway, so yeah,
Some things.
big wild world with a huge scale, like big mountains, big cliffs, big animals, big bodies of water.
Very big animals.
It's huge, and at times it's really impressive, at least to me. And it's not one of those games where the world is big but it's not interesting. Like, the way the landscape is shaped and the way things sort of interplay, like the water with the mountains and stuff, it's actually done really well. Like, there was a lot of attention to detail to give these places a unique feel beyond just this has sand versus grass and so on. And it's really big, and you can pretty much go anywhere. I think there are some continents that are disconnected that maybe you need the scale to get to. I'm not positive. But yeah, I mean, you're able to wander into areas like one she was telling me about, this place called Oblivia. It's sort of connected to the first continent you start on, but when you first get there, at least when I did, there were lightning storms. And I was slowly having my health depleted, and it was like, the hell? Apparently you need to have a lightning sort of debuff thing. But at the same time, if you wait, the time of day changes, the weather changes. Once the weather changes, then you can go in there just fine. So it's a massive living world, and there are creatures that will always be aggro, always out to get you. There are legendary versions of creatures.
Always be aggro.
Yeah, always be aggro. Then you have creatures that are just these huge monstrosities. It's like, Bulbasaur the Elder, level like 93 or something.
They difficult fights?
Lots of difficult fights. It's easy to kind of get yourself caught
Yeah.
in line of sight of an enemy that's too high level.
Oh, really?
So part of this game is being aware of your environment as well and traversing it carefully in doing so. And yeah, I'm really liking the loop right now of questing and getting loot and leveling up. So that's been great. I've liked that a lot.
Cool. Does it feel? Have you played previous games in the series, Alexa?
Yeah. I played the hell out of Xenoblade Chronicles, the last one, which I thought was really great.
Does it feel like very similar to it?
Yeah, because it has like the art system, which is I guess like the spells and the different attacks. Like it's a very similar combat system, but everything else is just like completely different.
The quest structure is similar. The thing I was describing earlier with like the way affinity missions work, like getting to know people and doing that sort of thing. It's really there for the hardcore folks because
fans of the genre.
Yeah. Can you play this and not as a hardcore Xenoblade fan?
Yeah, I mean, this is only the second game in the series, and it's not really connected to the prior one beyond the mechanics.
Can you play this as a non-hardcore video game fan? Because this seems like it's the type of game that requires quite a lot of you in terms of time commitment and effort.
This is definitely a video gamesman's video game.
I mean, again,
it's quite long.
Honestly, read the manual. Like, that's just my advice. Like,
Or don't and struggle.
or don't struggle, but that's the choice you're deciding to make on your own.
I am playing it dumbly as opposed to intelligently.
You should do like a two-take review on this one. The manual versus the non-manual.
Oh gosh, I'm still running in like the same
Self-taught
circle.
versus education
It is
system.
a 70 to 100 hour game, from what we've heard. So
Excellent.
that's a lot of time.
And the review will be up last day of this month?
Last day this month.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on and explaining to me the terrifying. As if there wasn't, I just have all this free time. There's not enough open world games out there to
None
play
came out this year, right?
in 2015. My goodness. Maybe one to get in your Christmas stocking. Let us know if you are going to pick it up later this year or if you're already in Japan and you're just halfway through at this stage in the comment box below. We'll be back in a sec. We've got to talk to all those dudes about Battlefront. It's out today officially, even though most of us have been playing it all weekend. Thank you, EA Access. But first of all, let's check out a trailer for Deadpool's back. Deadpool? Deadpool.
Surprise, universe! It's me, Deadpool, Marvel anti-hero extraordinaire. This is my launch trailer, and research shows that trailers, dubstep, and absolute chaos go together like Wolverine and bad haircuts. Ah, yes, dubstep. The dulcet tones of a computer being lobotomized that make kids go wild. That being said, drop the beat! Deadpool, bang, babes, mayhem! Let's get it on! Deadpool!
Deadpool?
Oh, yeah!
Deadpool?
Oh, I love old 8-bit games! This game isn't old.
Or 8-bit moron.
Really? Yeah! Okay, numbnuts. Deadpool! Bang! Babes! Mayhem! Bang! Bang! Let the quest for booty begin! Cable, what is this? Now we're talking. Smells like tacos.
You like tacos, Wade?
Silence, fool. It's so loud! Deadpool, bang! Babes, mayhem! I didn't sign up for this. I'm gonna get dizzy! Rise and shine! Did somebody get a microphone? Because this would be a perfect time to drop it! Think fast, dummy!
Hello, welcome back to GameSpot.com, the website where three white dudes wearing blue shirts all cross their legs in the exact same manner.
I'm wearing red socks, though.
You are, you're wearing red socks. You're also wearing two blue shirts, apparently.
You are flexible. I'm wearing two blue shirts, but my real intention was to do this, Danny.
Oh, Star Wars.
Talking about Star Wars, how appropriate.
Star Wars Battlefront's out today, officially.
Yeah.
You reviewed it.
Yep.
When did your review go up?
Last night at 9.
That's funny, because I was playing it all weekend on EA Access.
EA Access, what was it, like 10 hours?
Yeah, 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing like a retail copy, and then I completely forgot that like EA Access would have, like there would be a drop off before it actually released. So I was wondering why. I was like, this seems really kind of unpopulated
Right.
as opposed to the last 4 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Rob,
makes sense now.
you were playing a bunch last week. You and Chris did a massive stream on this couch.
6 hours.
Last week.
long.
First of all, before I ask Mike why he gave it a 7 out of 10, what do you think of Star Wars Battlefront? As a fan of like first-person shooter online games and massive Star Wars fan.
Huge fan of Battlefield, huge Star Wars fan, so you think those would coincide pretty well, and they do. You know, it's just how long will I be enjoying it?
Yeah.
I'm currently enjoying it, still love it. I mean, it still retains these moments where, you know, a TIE fighter will come out of the sky and blow up right in front of you, and it sounds and looks spectacular. It is eye candy up the wazoo, and I love it, and I still get those highs, like in these moments, right? But we were talking about it, and they kind of start drifting off.
All right.
And, you know, I'll let him talk about the progression and how the longevity just simply is not present.
That seems like the problem, right? Because it looks and sounds,
Yeah.
even as someone who's not a massive Star Wars fan, super legit. Like it's the way you'd want a Star Wars game to look and sound if you're a fan. But it just it's not, the depth isn't there, right?
Right, because there's 9 game modes, and each of them are pretty different. I mean, my favorite two are Supremacy and Walker Assault. Walker Assault's the one they're really touting. Yeah, and you see someone beating the shit out of Vader. Walker Assault is the most The one where you actually, that's like their unique one, where it's like a kind of attack and defend almost, but then they're actually using those iconic, the AT-ATs coming at you, and it used to be pretty imbalanced in the beta, but now it's my favorite mode. They
I really
did a few
enjoyed it.
things to make it like even better for the rebels and everything.
What other types of modes?
Supremacy, which is kind of like a tug of war, zone capture. Then they have Droid Run, which is like domination, but it's the droids, so they wander around the map, so there's no static points.
King of the Hill.
Yeah, it's like King of the Hill almost. And then they have Fighter Squadron, which is all just vehicles, airborne like ships. And then you have just like the classics. Cargo is pretty much capture the flag, which is it's fun, but it's not too new or anything. But the thing is, like, despite how many game modes there are, none of them get too deep. Walker Assault I love, and I still want to keep playing it. But everything else, like Fighter Squadron right here, you feel like you've seen everything after about an hour in each one.
Sure. Like towards the end, I'm just sticking to Supremacy and Walker Assault.
They're sort of like the big modes, right?
They're just the big modes where you get the
30 players.
the entire experience that you want. You want everything for the most part. But then you get these half-ass modes, in my opinion. Like Hero Hunt, where it's just not thought out. Where it's you take turns becoming the hero. So I played a couple times this mode, and the idea is that it's one team, and if I'm the last guy to. If I kill the hero, I become the hero, and then I get to reign terror. And it's basically a free-for-all with team play,
because everyone's out for themselves, but they're all shooting the same thing.
Yeah, and
weird.
what happens is there are a couple rounds I could not kill the hero because he'll kill me seconds away from him dying. Then someone else comes and swoops in the kill.
So it's like last hit.
Yeah,
it's
last
like a
hit.
MOBA.
Exactly, and it was frustrating, and that was it. I have no interest in playing that again. Here's Palpatine doing barrel rolls, just
so
like the movies.
weird.
See, that's
Andy liked how they shot Palpatine to death in their game, and they're like, "Why is everyone still fighting? War's over.
we've won.
Yeah. Is the problem that it's like even with all this variety of game modes, the game itself, like in terms of you controlling a character, is super basic. Like you have one button to shoot, you pick up power-ups that are sort of floating around the world. It's not like something like Battlefield, for instance, where you're loading out a character with like 4 different things, right?
Yeah, because you could say a lot of online multiplayers can be repetitive, but in this, like you play Halo, not to compare the two, but you have Halo's moment-to-moment combat is so fun, and it can unfold differently each way. There's a lot of emergent gameplay.
Yeah.
In this, the vast majority of firefights, it comes down, and I mentioned this in the review, it'll come down to 2 people see each other. You'll push the trigger and hold it, and depending on how slightly better your aim might be, you hope to be the one that walks away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the blasters, this is kind of a problem with the progression system as well. A lot of the blasters, aside from one being automatic, the next being semi, the next being kind of a shotgun in a way, they're all very similar. So you feel like you're just kind of playing the same way over and over. Like the modes are changing how you play, and the good modes really can lead to some of that emergent stuff. But by and large, it just after a while playing anything, especially a team deathmatch, I don't want to go back to those.
Is it wrong that throughout the whatever, I think I played 6 hours in total, I never upgraded my blaster?
Like bought a new one?
Yeah, it felt fine to me.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing about it that I felt, maybe like less recoil.
That's what it really is.
Really?
It's recoil.
Because then I just started going like pressing instead of holding it down.
Right.
Just to compensate.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and that's like the only I would have loved to have seen types of progression in like vehicles, right? Like what I loved about, I have to compare it to like Battlefield 3 and 4 is like, cool, I'm just gonna fly. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upgrade my weapons on this craft, I'm gonna get better photon torpedoes, whatever you wanna do. There isn't anything like that. Like it's just simply this infantry. It's really infantry based, right? And like you're flying around, you get shot down pretty quick, but you're not really present. For the most part, not as much as you'd like to be. You'd like to have some involvement. Some chat would be nice. Like, hey, we need air support. It's missing.
It sounds like the battle is just sort of happening, and you're there rather than really, impacting it.
Right.
It feels much more like you're spectating in a way, and then you happen to come across these little firefights. But I never really, aside from a few times in Walker Assault and Supremacy, I never felt like I was really impacting the battle. If I was doing really well and getting a few kills without dying, which this game's pretty hard to not die in because, again, it's just these exchanging blaster fire and everything. And it doesn't ever feel like I had a clear sense of what was. I mean, I knew what we were supposed to be doing, but I wasn't sure how it was going. Aside from the kill counter at the top,
Yeah.
kind of an indication, but I never really felt like I was like, okay, I'm gonna get on the speeder bike, I'm gonna go to their back outpost, I'm gonna take it, and then I'm gonna come help my buddies out at this one. It was always just, I'll just see what happens.
It's just chaos. Because then that's the thing too, right? Is you have these power weapons and options on the field, but you aren't picking them.
Yeah.
You're just given them. So if I die, I'd be like, okay, well, let me handle this differently. Let me get a rocket launcher and take out that ATST. No, first off, you got to find this icon, cross your fingers, maybe I'll get a rocket launcher. No, you get a dome. You get a dome shield, and you're like, great, and you burn that, and then you try to find another one. And it's just, there's no. Yeah, it's just chaos. Like you like to, find a way, like a play style. I'm gonna do this. Hey, buddy, let's take out this thing.
Like to have
It's
some
luck.
agency in the battle.
Yeah.
It's weird you say that because I was at one stage trying to rush to stop them taking an objective, and I ran into one of the TIE fighter pickups. And I was like, well, I was actually going to help over here, but I have to pick this thing up and have a go. It actually kind of fucked with the strategy I had.
Right.
On the other side of it.
This is actually I found really weird is there's one icon that you pick up that basically if I had a burn card like the ion shot, the idea is that you actually see in the bottom right there, it's like a kind of like a recycling sign. When I throw that on, I use the ion shot, I can throw this on and it can recharge quicker. But I had this issue where in the earlier phases of the game, you don't get a burn card, you have to work for it. So from 1 to 5 or something like that. So I pick up this icon, I can't get rid of it because I have nothing to burn. So I go up to an X-Wing and I'm like, I can't get this, I can't pick it up because I have this stupid burn card. You cannot get rid of it.
Yeah, the only ones I think you can swap out in certain cases are the hero ones, but you come across those very
That's a nightmare.
rarely.
Or another one is it's just these issues oh, cool, there's an X-Wing further down the mountain.
Luke's helping out
Luke's
so
helping
much.
out. There's another time it's oh, there's an X-Wing down over here, but there are ATSTs and troops surrounding it, and it's out in the open, you're just like, all right, I will die, but I'm gonna make an effort because I'd like to fly an X-Wing.
Awesome.
You never know.
So it sounds like a good game, a great game.
very fun.
Yeah,
but it's just it's limited.
For as monotonous as it can be, you're still going to come across those moments in the first 10 hours. You're like, I'm Luke Skywalker. I just cut an ATST in half. It might have stomped on me afterwards, but
I pushed a dude off a cliff.
yeah, that was great. Into the TIE fighter, or you did one.
Yeah.
Because there's that gif of the Luke Skywalker force pushing someone into a TIE fighter as it flies by.
Oh, really?
The
it's really
craziest thing
great.
I've done, and Tay doesn't believe me. I need to actually go back and find the footage on my PS4 at home. I was standing on a cliff on Hoth, and Han Solo has this really ridiculous shoulder charge.
Yeah.
It's fun to do, but it's kind of dumb in a great way. But a TIE fighter was flying by, trying to just shoot me in the face. And all of a sudden it pulled up at the last second, but I did my shoulder charge, and it must have been no health left.
No way.
I swear. I'll bring it in. I'll find some. I'll find it.
Maybe you dreamt that.
No,
that sounds awesome.
It was great, and it blew up. And it was fun.
Last question. It looks pretty good on consoles. Have
Yeah.
you guys seen it on PC yet?
I've actually been playing it PC
cool.
right now, and it looks really good.
Yeah?
We're trying to get it to run at 4K with turning out some settings, but 2K, it's hello.
Pretty dope. All right.
Further. But I have to say also is, as someone who loves Star Wars, what I am looking forward to with this game is, I think I just found out today or the other day, is they kind of released the statement that they're going to have all this DLC, and it's something like 16 maps.
Yeah, I think
really?
it's.
Or
I
no.
mean, you have Jakku that's coming up. That's
Right.
so that I think they're releasing it by. Jakku obviously is going to have more than one map on it.
Right.
So I'm not sure how many
by
planets
via
total they're
planet.
planning.
All right.
Right, because there's 4 planets now, and then most of each game mode on each map has its own variant of the map. So there's a bunch of maps.
Cool.
But I'm kind of looking forward to the DLC.
I mean, exactly. And so it's going to be cool to at least, I mean, these DLC packages are going to come out, and you'll be like, cool, let's try it out. A couple hours. All right, see you later. That's how it's going to go. But I am a little curious to see how these are going to look, right?
Yeah.
Because I imagine they're also going to be really similar to the movie. Jakku is a battle that happened. Maybe they'll pull on that a lot, and so we'll see what happens.
Should be pretty interesting. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good fan service for the Star Wars fans. Thanks very much. There'll be some gameplay up on GameSpot.com later on today.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, let us know what you think of Star Wars Battlefront. Are you a Star Wars fan or a Battlefield fan? Are you excited or disappointed? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. All right, we're almost done, but we got to give away all this nonsense. Look at this box of nonsense we have.
Oh, Star Wars
Star
stuff.
Wars awesomeness. We have everyone's favorite right there, Darth Maul. Look at it.
Darth Maul.
Everyone's here. Let's hand these things out. To win this big old box of Star Wars goodies, and make sure you follow GameSpot on Twitter and retweet the tweet that's up on your screen right now. Look, is that the same picture of Mary? We just keep photoshopping different things in front of her. We got Loop and Chewie. Look, it's Loop and Chewie. I don't even know what that is. Hold it up, Mike. It's
Just,
Loop and Chewie. He's looping.
Chewie on bath salts.
Bop it.
Okay. Oh, that's adorable!
Hi, score 7. Bop it.
Bop it.
You are not good at bopping.
We got Disney Infinity 3.0 characters here as well. We got Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's the starter pack.
Stop! There's so much stuff.
Oh, but you think you're dumb. We've got Star Wars catchphrase. Look at that.
Is cool.
Let's do a catchphrase.
Okay.
Batteries not included. To win all this stuff, as you said, make sure you... It says powered by Duracell right in the front right there. I don't know. Maybe there's some of those. We'll probably throw in some batteries. Make sure we throw in some batteries. What's Loop and Chewie about?
I don't know. Join Chewbacca and take down those stormtroopers, according to... Looks sort of like a hungry hippos.
Okay.
Hungry hippos.
That's right.
It's probably nothing like that. Don't listen to me, but it looks kind of like less like a board game and more like.
Look how happy these kids are.
Yeah.
They're having a great time. They've also managed to all turn up in different colored shirts.
It wouldn't be good advertising if they were really sad.
It wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't want to buy that.
No, I wouldn't buy a
despair
sad
on the
child.
back of the box.
There you go. You can win all this stuff. Make sure you retweet GameSpot and make sure you're following us on Tweet Zone. Whoa! Whoa! Loop and Chewie. Whoa! It's doing loops even right now.
Oh, Mike's sick.
Kidding.
Mike, don't get your sickness on this. A
I'm
child
not
is gonna
sick.
play with
That's
it.
pee.
Stop
I
it.
feel fine.
Stop peeing on the gift.
Drink Power C this morning.
Tell a person. Rob.
Yeah.
What are you doing this week on the videogames.com?
Doing some Battlefront, and then I think I'm gonna do probably some Fallout later in the week.
That video game's okay.
I did a feature today on the junk jet.
You did.
Yeah.
That was
Hilarious.
funny. It was really
Yes.
good. The Hoarders
Junk jet.
footage was good.
Yeah, it was good. But yeah, Fallout. I mean, I'm actually what I'm doing right now is I'm playing it on PC, so I have to make up for the 20 hours I did on Xbox. But like, it was worth it. I've been playing on PC. It's so much just smoother.
Yeah.
Like it looks great. I actually have only like a 680. I can crank it up, man.
Really?
Just walk in a
Yeah.
different general direction and have an entirely different experience though in
Yeah.
that game.
I'm surprised how well it runs on like normal cards.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
decent.
afraid. I was afraid I needed to like soup up my system, but no,
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
Looks pretty good. 60 frames a second. Mike, what are you up to?
Now that I've put about 25 hours into Battlefront, I beat Metal Gear Solid the other night finally.
Which beat
Like the real ending. So every day I come in, Pete Brown's like, did you beat it? I was like, well, I'm on chapter 2, the whole thing,
Yeah.
spoiler free. There's like, that late game stuff, and I was like, I came in today, I was like, Pete, I beat it.
Yeah.
And then apparently there's this one mission I still haven't done that you can do. So I'll do that tonight, and then Fallout I've been putting off. Have like another review coming up, but Fallout.
What's that
Sure.
review? Can you say?
I don't know. I think so.
Can
I
you
mean, it's
guess?
one of the December 2nd releases. You can
Well,
just narrow it down.
well,
There's 2 games on December 2nd.
It's Just Cause 3, and what's the other one?
Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay.
Oh,
There you go.
So I will be reviewing one of those.
Will you be mostly doing first-person shooting, or will you be mostly jumping around a tropical island?
It's first-person shooting if you zoom out over their shoulder and just have a grappling hook, and
yeah, all right.
good.
I'm looking forward to that
yeah,
one.
that's how I would describe the game.
So many games coming out or have come out this year, great ones, and more on the way. We got a bunch of crazy Game of the Year stuff coming up at the end of the year. We'll actually be doing a bunch of it here on the lobby set before we move our asses downstairs. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on, talking
thanks
all
for
about Star
having
Wars.
us.
And thanks to everyone in the back. As ever, Mary Kish, Eric Tay, Josh Shaw, Dan Mahoric. Anyone else? No, that's it. Josh is happy. Don't give anyone else credit. We're out of here. Next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, we'll see you. And until then, make sure you tune in to GameSpot.com for all your video game goodness. I'm going to go fix my tongue from whatever awfulness has happened to it.
You're
Take
fine.
care. See you next week.
Go for it.